What a dynamic duo. Jose Bautista and Josh Donaldson at the top of the Toronto lineup is feasting on Twins pitching. It's our Toyota key stat. All-time minimum 100 at-bats, the career highest slugging percentage against the Minnesota Twins. These guys are first and second, and they are flexing their muscle right now against the Twins. Tonight, they'll take on a young man making his first major league start. Pat Dean was awesome out of the bullpen last Monday in Detroit. 5 1/3, only 2 runs given up. He has earned the chance to make his first big league start here today. And this Twins and Blue Jays series is presented by Echo Outdoor Equipment. Tonight, it's game number 3 of this 4-game set. And like we've had in the first 2 games of this series, it's another brilliant weather day here in downtown Minneapolis. Welcome inside Target Field. The Minnesota Twins, say the least, are scruffling right now, and now the Toronto Blue Jays are starting to do what they have done time and time again in this ballpark. They are hitting the ball up and over the fence. They already, in this series alone, have 5 home runs. 4 of those long balls came in last night's game, and this is a trend that we've seen now for 22 games in a ballpark that is widely considered a pitcher's ballpark. In the last 22 games, the Toronto Blue Jays have 35 home runs. The challenge for Pat Dean in his first big league start is to put the ball in play, but to keep it in the stadium here today and give the Twins a chance to get some runs of their own on the other side. The Toronto Blue Jays love playing baseball here at Target Field. When we come back, it's a day of Saturday first. Pat Dean's first major league start. How does he tame Toronto? Dick Bramer and Bert Blyleven have all the answers when you come back, and get ready for Twins baseball right here on Fox Sports North.
Definitely a lot of really talented hitters, a lot of veteran guys, really aggressive. So, I mean, for me, I just got to go out there and be aggressive as well, trying to attack them and not be scared of the hitters.
Today, Pat Dean will become the 9th Twins starting pitcher of the 2016 season. Hoping to pick up a win. His team needs a win desperately, and he'd like to pick up his first major league win. Target Field has never looked nicer. A beautiful day for baseball, and we're glad you're with us. Dick and Bert with you for Game 3 of this 3-game series. The Twins have struggled in the starting pitching department, and now Pat Dean will get an audition here today.
Yeah, Pat Dean, after 6 starts down in AAA, he got called up when Tommy Malone and Casey Bean were both designated for assignment. But Pat Dean, in his second major league appearance, that was last Monday when he relieved Barrios after he could not get out of the first inning. He ended up taking that ball into the 6th inning, and the Twins ended up coming back. The sad part, he ended up getting the loss in that ball game. But for Pat Dean, yes, his best pitch is his changeup, but how do you set that up against the Toronto Blue Jays? You have to bust those right-handers hard inside, sets up that changeup down and away, and then mix in that breaking ball. Does a good job of staying tall and creating a good downward plane. He needs that here this afternoon.
The Toronto Blue Jays incredibly played 22 games here at Target Field. They've won 15 of them because they have outslugged the Twins regularly. Pat Dean will have a tough challenge here this afternoon. With Kevin Gordon, Bert Blyleven, and Dick Bramer here at Target Field. Twins losing a tough ball game here in the opener on Thursday night, and then were pretty much blown out last night. And Pat Dean, who did a nice job in relief, has had a few days to get ready for this. He knew the very next day that he would be getting a start against John Gibbons and the potent Blue Jay lineup. The Menards batting order for the Blue Jays. Jose Bautista still in the leadoff spot for the 3rd straight game. Josh Donaldson, Edwin Encarnacion, Justin Smoke, Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Saunders, Russell Martin, Kevin Pillar, and Darwin Barney.
And it will be 26-year-old left-hander Pat Dean making his major league start, his first one, his 3rd appearance overall. He pitched here against the Baltimore Orioles after getting called up back on May 7th. Not an overpowering pitcher, has to hit his spots, create that good downward plane. 140 minor league starts, 47 wins in the minor leagues. Like to get the first one here in the big leagues.
And nothing like facing Bautista, Donaldson, and Encarnacion right out of the chute. Blue Jays put their power top heavy in their batting order. 1 strike to Bautista.
Jays actually were struggling scoring runs, but don't tell the Twins that.
Brian Dozier on the outfield grass, and Bautista's retired, 1 away. Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Bit of a different look. Bobby Grossman got 3 hits, so you knew he was going to be in the starting lineup in left field.
Guaranteed.
Danny Santana in center. Darren Mastroianni getting the start in right. Miguel Sano's DHing. Bloof, Nunez, Dozier, Park, the infielders, and Suzuki behind the plate. 1 down here is Donaldson.
Donaldson in his 2nd season with the Blue Jays, coming over from Oakland. And a lot of people in Toronto credit him for bringing his enthusiasm and desire.
Toby Basner calling balls and strikes. You see the rest of the crew there. 4-game series. All 4 of them will get a chance behind the plate. And we would try to do this once or twice a year anyway, just to remind fans, viewers, how the rotation works. The umpires work around the field clockwise. That means the first base umpire, Mark Ripperger, will have the plate tomorrow. And a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, not too many 4-game series throughout the summer, so all 4 umpires will get a chance in this crew to be calling balls and strikes.
Snap bat and a roller. Donaldson. He eventually gets to first base. 2 down.
That got in the kitchen really good. A little cut fastball.
And now Edwin Encarnacion.
Take a look at his last pitch. Donaldson kind of stood at home plate for a second. Yeah, almost like something's wrong with him, that right arm.
Well, now a discussion here. Donaldson arguing with home plate umpire Toby Basner. And John Gibbons out if it's not too late already. I wonder, did Donaldson get tossed? And
wow,
Donaldson
he said something to him.
So Donaldson has been ejected after grounding out. We were concerned whether there was something wrong with Donaldson.
Right.
A little tardy in getting out of the box, but then he chirped at the home plate umpire, and the Blue Jays will play the rest of this game without last year's league MVP. Ball 1. One and 0 to Encarnacion. And outside 2-0. Well, the count had gone to what, 2-0, and then there was a called strike to Donaldson, and then he put the next pitch in play. And outside 3-0 with smoke on deck.
Well, I think both clubs were unhappy with some of the calls, not only last night, but here on Thursday night. But right off the get-go.
And now a strike, 3-1.
And this isn't the same umpire that did the last night's ball game or Thursday night. So a quick exit for Donaldson.
And fouled back now, 3-2. Today's cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. And first with Oakland, then with Toronto. He has really terrorized Twins pitching. 25 runs batted in 26 games. And another foul away, 3-2. Dean with a couple of outs here, hoping for a nice clean first inning. 13th pitch of the inning. And a foul ball.
Nice little cutter right there by Dean, getting into the inner part of the plate, and that's what you have to do against this Blue Jay ball club. You have to show them you'll come in. I mean, you got Donaldson on a pretty good pitch that kept running in on him. Encarnacion with that open stance, and then that left leg will go toward the pitcher.
Dean continues to throw strikes after falling behind 3-0. And he missed inside. Encarnacion will take a 2-out walk, and that'll bring Smoke to the plate. Smoke, a switch hitter, will hit right-handed, of course, against Pat Dean.
As a right-handed hitter, Smoke hitting .267. All 3 of his home runs as a left-handed hitter.
Popped up right side. Dozier again on the outfield grass. And a good first inning for Pat Dean as he gets the Twins off the field after a scoreless top of the first. Two-out walk. Paul Molitor hoping that the 9th Twin starting pitcher of the year can spin a good one up there today. And the Menards batting order for the Twins has a different look. Joe Mauer will try once again to give him a day off. Hasn't had a day off yet. Brian Dozier, Eduardo Nunez, Miguel Sano, the DH, then Trevor Plouffe, Young-Ho Park. Look at all the right-handed hitters and switch hitters. The Twins are as right-handed as they can get with the left-hander Jay Happ on the mound.
Yeah, James Anthony Happ. For Happ, he's making his 9th start of the year, looking for his 6th win. He's done a great job since his return to the Toronto Blue Jays. Pitched for the Blue Jays in 2012 to 2014, and then a free agent, and re-signed with them over the winter, a 3-year contract.
And a first pitch strike. Dozier, Nunez, and Sano in the Twins first.
Happ has been pitching outstanding. 7 of his 8 starts have been quality starts, except for this last one.
And a rough outing against the Rays, and a lot of teams are having a tough time with that Rays lineup. They're leading the American League in home runs, but he gave up 2 home runs, 8 earned runs in 2 innings of work. Dozier with a little pop-up left center field, and that ball is going to be caught on the run by Kevin Pillar. Let's go back to the top of the inning. It was a 2-0 pitch to Josh Donaldson that was called a strike. It looked enough like a strike there, but then on the next pitch, Donaldson bounced out, and as he went back to first, or to the dugout, he had a quick sense. He didn't stop jogging, but Toby Basner threw him out.
Yeah, whatever he said, the home plate umpire took offense, and a quick toss right there.
One down. Here's Eduardo Nunez, and this one popped up near the Twins dugout. Justin Smoke And a quick second out. We'll bring up Miguel Sano. Northland Ford defense for the Blue Jays. Michael Saunders in left, Kevin Pillar in center, Jose Bautista in right, Donaldson, Tulowitzki, Barney, Smoke the infielders, Russell Martin catching his third game of the series.
You know, to be honest with you, Barney now at third since Donaldson.
That's right.
Yep. You know what? I'm not gonna stand up for Donaldson 100%, but you know, it's hard to argue with umpires in today's game. They have very short fuse.
Not because there are a lot of Toronto fans here, but the fans who are here want to see Josh Donaldson play.
And it wasn't like he stopped at home plate. He kept running, and whatever he said, you know, boy, I mean, right away, there you go.
And now a ball to Miguel Sano, 1-1, designated hitter for the Twins.
I'd be honest with you, you know, and I know when myself, I played, or Jack, you could actually talk to the umpires a little bit as long as you didn't use profanity to them. You could argue with them a little bit. It doesn't seem that way today.
Swing and a miss. I can't believe Donaldson would argue too vociferously. That pitch looked like it was right at the knees on the inside corner. 1-2 to Sano.
Saw that fastball from Happ right there. It's a sneaky fastball. Almost a short arm type of delivery, but his fastball clocked between 90 and 94. He has a little cutter he'll throw on righties. Good curveball and a circle changeup.
2-2 to Sano. Twins haven't seen much left-handed pitching generally this year, and they faced 9 straight right-handed starters. Last time they faced a lefty was in Chicago, and Chris Sale.
Now, Twins have 39 home runs, only 3 of them coming off a left-handed pitcher.
And Sano takes inside. He'll take a walk. And that'll bring up Trevor Plouffe.
For Happ, that's his 15th walk in 51 innings pitched. He's always had very okay control, about 3.5 walks per 9 innings in his career, making his 180th major league start.
First time he was with the Blue Jays, he had a game here, and it was 39 degrees game time, and he had a terrible time throwing strikes. If he has control issues today, it won't be because of the temperature. Plouffe takes a strike on the outside corner.
And the last time that the Twins faced Happ was July 30th of last year when he was with the Seattle Mariners, and Twins scored 5 runs in the first inning off of him and ended up winning 9-5. Gave up 3 home runs in that ball game.
And now a 93 mile per hour fastball and strike 2.
And his line that day, back on July 30th of last year, 3 1/3 innings, 9 hits allowed. Dozier, Aaron Hicks, and Eddie Rosario took him deep.
And another 92 mile per hour fastball, swing and a miss, and Sano is left aboard. Neither team was able to take advantage of it. Josh Donaldson, as he retreated, apparently, we're told now, heard some chirping from the Twins dugout about refusing to run the ball out. And Donaldson was responding, we think, to the Twins dugout, not to the home plate umpire.
You actually see him pointing right there toward the Twins dugout. I can't wait till Bautista comes up. Let's just scream at him and get him thrown out.
So Donaldson, in a probably impolite way, responded to what the Twins were saying about his lack of hustle coming out of the box, and the home plate umpire thought it was intended for him. And the bottom line is Donaldson's out of the ball game. Here's a chopper, 2 hops. Plouffe with a 1-hop throw, and the ball bounces out of Park's glove.
Yeah, Trevor had a little time to set up and throw and on the run. And Park, for some reason, was kind of around the bag instead of a stretch. And give it an infield base hit to Tulowitzki, but watch Trevor right here. He has time to maybe set up, and you can see the ball kind of slipped in his hand. But Park, you can see where he's at. He should be stretching like a first baseman does. He's kind of covering the bag.
And now Saunders with a leadoff scratch infield single.
Boy, that's what we've seen. Just too many little mistakes of this ball club.
We've seen Park play pretty well over there at first base, but you're right. If he has his right foot on the bag and makes any kind of stretch at all.
He was straddling the bag for some reason.
1 strike to Saunders. Hit a home run. A lot of people hit home runs for Toronto last night. They hit 4 of them. There is a ball inside, 1-1. A good year so far for Michael Saunders. That's foul. 1-2.
Yeah, I mentioned it in game 1 and 2, actually. You know, missing almost all of the season last year due to that left knee surgery. Played only 9 games for the Blue Jays, and that was his first year from Seattle. Putting together a very solid year this year. Came into this season 6 seasons with Seattle, a .231 hitter. Currently hitting at .317.
Up and away.
Pat Dean signed by the Twins back in 2010. He was the Twins' number 3 pick out of Boston College. 6+ years in the minor leagues of the Twins. Making his major league start, picks up a strikeout. His 8th strikeout.
It's Preakness Day. Kevin Gorg, understandably, maybe a little distracted, but he's focused on baseball today right now, right?
Absolutely. The Twins are hoping the young thoroughbred on the mound can give their bullpen a little day off, because Paul Molitor talked earlier, guys, very candidly about not just the taxing they've taken as far as the physical work, but the mental. It's been a scruffle and a struggle out there. Paul Molitor really was impressed with what he saw in Detroit last Monday. After just 2/3 of an inning for Barrios, this guy came in and gave him 5 1/3 innings of great work. He needs something even longer tonight. He said he could stretch him out like a normal starter. 6, 7, maybe even 8 innings. Dare I say 9, Bert. If he can get it done today, that's exactly what Molitor's looking for, to give his bullpen a little time off.
Kevin, you can say it. That doesn't mean it's going to happen.
I've got my fingers crossed. I want 9. I want 9, just like Bert and Jack when they dueled back in the late 70s.
Well, you know what? When you look at Pat Dean, you see a guy that, again, made 140 minor league starts.
Let's do it again.
You know, he's a guy that can pitch deep into the ball game. Now, this is the big leagues, and we'll find out here, but good things might happen here.
5, 4, 3, a double play
right there.
And Dean pitches around the leadoff infield hit. Bases just 3 men in the second. Place else I would rather be than here today. Great day at the ballpark. Face painting, other activities going on at the Perkins kiosk on the main concourse. And they're here on select Saturdays all year long. And another great item to make Target Field one of the most fan-friendly ballparks. And we should mention, although Glenn Perkins may have approved of this message, this is not his entity. This is the restaurant Perkins that sponsors this. Young Hope Park takes a strike from Jay Happ. Park, Robbie Grossman, and Darren Mastroianni facing the Toronto left-hander. Happ has been at this for a while. A all Big Ten pitcher from Northwestern University. First professional season is 2004, so that would make this his 13th professional season.
Yeah, he came up with the Phillies in 2007, then went to the Astros, and then the 3 years with the Blue Jays. And a couple of years, or then last year, started with the Mariners, ended it with the Pirates. And signing a 3-year contract. 6'5", does a good job of creating that downward plane like that.
Foul tip, and Park strikes out 1-0.
Yep, picks up his second strikeout.
On a team that is starving for competitive at-bats, some early encouragement from the newest Twin last night.
Well, on his first pitch he saw, he hit that double that scored Sano in the second inning, gave the Twins a 1-0 lead, then a base hit up the middle. That scored another run, Polanco, and then in the 9th inning, as a right-handed hitter, you saw the first 2 hits as a lefty, as a right-handed hitter, hit it in the bullpen.
Towards the hole, cut off by Barney, and he fires across, making a good play. 2 outs quickly here in the second inning. First ground ball out, but when Happ gets rolling, he gets most of his outs on the ground. He's gotten 11 ground ball double plays already this year. Quarter of the way through the season, that puts him on a pace for 40-something ground ball double plays, which is a remarkably big number. Here is Mastroianni, 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. Because the Twins haven't seen much left-handed pitching, Mastroianni's been a pinch runner, defensive replacement, hasn't had a chance to make many starts. 1-0, and now 2-0.
Yeah, opponents coming into the ball game hitting 267 off of Happ. He's given up 6 home runs, all of them the right-handed hitters. Right-handers hitting 275, lefties hitting 237.
Call strike, 2-1. Mastroianni getting the start in right field with Sano sliding into the DH spot.
Mastroianni brings a lot of speed with him. He can get on base.
Ground ball backhanded nicely by Smoke. He'll go to the bag, and Happ has a 1-2-3 second inning. CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. A glorious afternoon here at Target Field. Twins hope to win a ball game. Pat Dean hoping to give the Twins a quality start. Kevin Pillar will lead off the third against Dean. And getting Dean up here and now into the starting rotation, the Twins are hoping against hope that a rather peculiar pattern in his professional career will be extended up here. Here's a high fly to short center. Santana coming in. One away. Time now for greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. News and notes from around baseball. Jake Arrieta 8-0 with a win against the Giants, and 100 wins for CC Sabathia
as a Yankee. Yeah.
As a Yankee, yeah. And Mike Moustakas coming back from a fractured thumb. Missed just a couple of weeks. Darwin Barney will hit. The peculiar pattern for Dean is he was a much better pitcher in the minor leagues at the AAA level than he was at AA. I don't know how you would explain that, but in parts of 2 years in Rochester, he went 15-13 with an ERA of 2.75. His numbers weren't nearly that good at AA.
Well, sometimes it's a maturity, learning how to pitch, learning the stuff that you have.
And that's what the Twins are hoping for. That last year he just maybe figured some things out in Rochester.
Yeah, I mean 179 innings, 12 wins, a 2.82 earned run average into 27 starts. So he put together a very solid year.
2-1 and a ball whistled foul.
You know what he's been able to do too. We talked about Hapnick. You mentioned the 11 ground ball double plays. Dean has pitched only 10 innings now, 10 and a third. He's already had 3 double plays turned behind him. So a guy that tries to make the good pitch when he needs it. He got it off the bat of Russell Martin to hit into that double play.
Chopped foul. Well, the Twins will take left-handed pitching wherever they can get it. It's an organization that's been a little lean from the left side.
You know, sometimes when you sign and you go down to the minor leagues, you realize that, hey, you're a great pitcher at Boston College, but all of a sudden you find everybody else is pretty equal to you. And now what do I have to do to get to that next level? And sometimes you try to do too much, you overthrow. But, you know, as time goes on, innings go in. He's pitched 814 innings in the minor leagues. Sometimes it clicks.
His AA ERA nearly 2 full runs higher than his AAA ERA.
Well, he's doing a good job so far of mixing the pitch inside to a lot of these right-handers and then that changeup away.
A little bit different animal, though, isn't it? I mean, he entered a game that was all but lost in Detroit. It was 8-0 by the time he got into the ball game, and then he settled down after that. But saw his teammates come back and get the game tied up, in fact. But it's a little bit different animal when you're starting the game and the score is 0-0.
Yeah, that fastball clocked at 91, so he doesn't have the fastball to blow it by somebody. So what he needs to do is, you know, make the quality pitches. Barney having a good at bat. Pitch number 9 coming to him in this at bat, who hit a home run last night.
And now one rifle to the gap in right center field. Santana will cut the ball off. But going into second after a great at bat, Darwin Barney has a 1-out double. And that'll bring up Jose Bautista. Hit another home run last night. He loves hitting in this ballpark. 12 home runs hit here.
Yeah, the most of any opposing player as far as hitting home runs in this ballpark.
Bautista here at Target Field has gotten a lot of hittable pitches out over the plate.
Well, you can see a lot of hot zones. I mean, 4 of the red. Look at that, straight, you know, down the middle, up in the zone. That's why you have to pitch him hard in, because he does. He stands pretty much on top of the plate with that little bit of open stance, and he's kind of a diver a little bit at times. The ball out over the plate, and he does not get cheated when he swings the bat.
Strike one. Twins, I suppose, were hoping that he might serve his one-game suspension after his tussle at second base with Rougned Odor of the Rangers. There's a high fly to left.
Yep.
He's hit another one, I believe.
Yes, he has.
Into the second deck.
I said when you get that ball, when you're going to go in, you better get way in on this guy because he does open up. He's got a very quick bat. Home run number 9, 13th home run hit here at Target Field for Jose Bautista. Well, you know, I mean, the first pitch, a little pitch by pitch. Fastball right there, outer half of the plate down, and then the breaking ball left up. You got to get that ball in there.
A couple of extra base hits here against Dean, and it's 2-0. And now Ryan Goins will hit.
Dean giving up his second major league home run, the other one to Nick Castellanos in that outing in Detroit. That was a 2-run home run.
Goins entered the game when Donaldson was ejected and flipped foul. I don't suppose an umpire could take back an ejection, right? It was quite apparent that what happened, and Donaldson said something to the Twins dugout not intended for the umpire. But once you've made a very animated ejection call, you can't rescind it, I don't suppose.
Well, hopefully, the fine will, you get ejected. Sometimes there's fines. Hopefully that will not be put on Donaldson. The intention was not toward the umpire.
Dozier gets the hot ground ball, 2 away. That'll bring up Encarnacion.
And if there is a fine, I think Donaldson should pay it to the individual on the Twins team who yelled at him to get him out of the ball game.
Here is Encarnacion, drew a 2-out walk in the first inning. Strike on the outside corner.
Well, this is a home run hitting ball club, the Toronto Blue Jays. They have now hit 55 home runs. And the Twins have given up 59. And they've hit only 39.
And a strike called, 1-2. Spent some time today and have found myself doing more and more of it as the Twins record continues to with loss after loss. We'll talk about that in the next half inning. Dean finishes with a strikeout, but a double and a home run. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Another Toronto home run, another Bautista home run. It's 2-0 as the Twins hit now in the bottom of the third inning. Kurt Suzuki will lead things off with 999 career hits. Danny Santana and Brian Dozier will hit next. Strike one. Happ now pitching with a 2-run lead.
Kurt Suzuki 1 for 4 in his career against A.J. Happ.
Off the end of the bat. Left center field. Little carry out towards Pilar. He makes the catch. 1 away. Our Soup.com trivia question. Which two teammates have had the most combined home runs against the Twins? Oh, you think of McGuire and Canseco recently, fairly recently.
How about Ripken and Murray?
Yeah, could be two. Kaline Horton back in the 60s. Probably somebody like Frank Howard and Mike Epstein of the Senators.
All right, then you think about Paul Konerko.
Ooh, yes,
Maybe
and Jim Thome. Yeah, I like that answer. 1-0 to Santana. Barney in at the edge of the grass at third base. Santana's gotten 3 bunt hits in the last 4 games. Foul back. Oh, nice catch. In the front row just to our right. Fan reaching over the railing and making a nice barehanded catch. Very nice.
Nicely done. You don't need a glove.
Held onto his cell phone too. 1-1, or excuse me, 2-1 to Danny Santana.
Not a lot of at bats as a right-handed hitter for Santana. Just 1 hit.
Lifted to right center, and Pilar will sprint over to the gap.
Another fly ball out, looks like. Yep.
2 down. That'll bring up Dozier. We're less than a month away from the Girls on the Run Twin Cities Spring 5K, but there's still plenty of time to join Fox Sports North Saturday, June 4th at Normandale Community College as we inspire girls to be healthy and confident. To register, visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on upcoming events. Dozier will bat, hit a fly ball to center his first time up.
Yeah, Dozier's had the most success against Happ. 3 hits and 8 at bats now with a couple home runs.
Strike on the outside corner.
See the average for Dozier now at 207.
And a high fly to left. And heading back is Saunders. And another quick 1-2-3 inning. soak in the distinct lake and boat lifestyle that we're known for. Over 900 family resorts offer every activity under the sun, on the lake, everywhere along the shore. No better way to appreciate the Minnesota way of life than to experience a few lazy days by the lake in the summertime, especially along one of our 90,000 miles of shoreline, more than California, Florida, and Hawaii combined. Boom! Find endless ideas for the perfect getaway at exploreminnesota.com. Share your favorites with hashtag only in MN.
This is a beautiful time of the year. What a beautiful day, too.
One of guess, I suppose, that Kent Herbeck probably is on a lake someplace, and it's his birthday today. We want to wish happy birthday to Kent.
Sure do. Happy birthday.
Sharing a birthday with Hall of Famer Earl Averill.
Rex, happy birthday.
2-0 to Justin Smoke. Troy Tulowitzki will follow, and then Michael Saunders. Strike call. Also want to pass along birthday wishes to Henrietta Vanderwall. She turns 88 today. She lives in Pipestone, and we won't be on the air in November, so we'll wish her and her husband Fred a happy 64th wedding anniversary when it comes up in November. Diving catch in right by Mastroianni. Nice play by Darren Mastroianni, diving to take a hit away from Justin Smoke.
Very, very nice read, and his speed right here as Smoke just reaches out, takes it the other way. Mastroianni comes flying in and making a very nice catch.
That'll bring up Tulowitzki.
And you see the open glove. Open it up quickly, let that ball fall in nicely, and a great catch.
We'll get the grass stains out overnight. Strike one to, well, we won't. Someone will. One strike to Tulowitzki. Hit a chopper in front of Plouffe, and Plouffe threw across the diamond on one hop. And now this liner picked off at the knees by Nunez. 2 down. And that'll bring up Saunders. May 24th is U of M night at Target Field. Limited number of University of Minnesota theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a maroon and gold Twins cap. Go to twinsbaseball.com/U of M. Learn more about the U of M theme night offer. And that's coming up Tuesday night against the Kansas City Royals.
Now, Dean has one strikeout. That was Saunders in the second inning.
Outside, ball one. Dribbled foul, spinning back through the right-handed batter's box. 1-1.
My mistake. Dean has 2 strikeouts. He struck out Encarnacion to end last inning. So he did strike out Saunders for his first strikeout. Saunders born in Canada, British Columbia.
Outside, and it's 2-1. Waiting on the off-speed pitch and a foul back.
Toronto coming into this ball game 21 wins, 23 losses, 6 games behind the Baltimore Orioles in 4th place. Pretty tight division, really, with the Yankees in last with 6.5 games behind the Orioles.
Plouffe, the only infielder over there, and Park with a stretch. And a 1-2-3 4th inning for Pat Dean. Got a little help for on the first out from Darren Mastroianni and right. lead. Guess how they got their 2 runs? It was a Jose Bautista home run. Sanford Health injury report. Don't know if you saw it. Jason Hayward with a terrible collision with the wall in left center field. Made a great catch for the Cubs, but then slid head first through the warning track to the wall. It is Eduardo Nunez leading off the 4th inning for the Twins. Then Miguel Sano and Trevor Plouffe. 1-0 to Nunez. And now 2-0. Happ sailing through 3 innings. The only flaw in his first 3 innings, a 2-out walk to Sano. Ripped to left. Should be an extra base hit. Nunez loses the helmet before first base, and he streaks to second. Again, there have been so few things that have gone right for the Twins this year, but Nunez is off to the best start of his major league career.
Yeah, well, got the count in his favor, 2-0. Got the fastball, turned on it, and lined it into the corner for Twins' first hit after Happ had retired 7 straight Twins.
Strikes presented by Dodge.
For Nunez's 8th double of the year.
Now Sano fell behind, worked a walk in the first inning, but was left at first base. Sano now with 23 walks on the year. Hitting just .235, but with the walks and on base percentage a few ticks above the league average of .329. Sano's on base percentage is .329. Major league average is right at .320. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
Swing, big swing right there on an off-speed pitch. Wanted to tie the game at 2 apiece. Sano has 7 home runs, but all of them have been solo home runs.
Checked his swing, took a strike.
Good fastball inside. Happ working both sides of the plate. So Martin set up inside. Want the ball up a little bit.
And fouled over the Twins dugout.
And that's exactly where Martin put his glove.
It's amazing, isn't it, how a pitcher who has command, control, and how he can move the ball around and hit spots, how effective a pitcher can be regardless of how hard or not hard they throw.
Well, it's also very good for that umpire behind the plate too, because that plate will grow a little bit if you hit your spots. But if Martin's sitting inside and the ball's away, it's hard for that umpire to give you anything.
Half swing. And it's 2-2.
And that's where you want a changeup right there, just on the other side of the plate. What the Jays have been able to do, they have been able to get quality starts. 29 quality starts by their staff in 44 games played.
A very high fly to left center field. Nunez standing on the second base bag. Pilar's got a great arm, but here comes Nunez trying to advance. Out at third base. A perfect one-hop strike from Pilar.
You know, we saw Pilar's arm a couple nights ago when he was out in center field. Very strong, very accurate. And he set himself up nicely to make this good throw to third base.
Nunez thinks he's safe. That's why he's lingering near third base.
Look at Millar. A good solid one-hop throw to Barney at third base, and then the quick tag. Looks like Nunez got his hand on the bag. Let's take a look right here. Boy.
When the glove was put down, it didn't make contact, I don't think, with Nunez. And then Barney, you know, we see second baseman, shortstop do it all the time. The Twins aren't going to challenge this.
Boy, again, the importance of the infielder keeping his glove on that runner. We saw last night's ball game,
right,
or the other night, Tulowitzki with Joe Mauer. But Barney getting it, and maybe got the elbow right there before the palm of the hand could get on third base bag.
Bet you this angle might show it better.
Bang bang play.
Blue swings and misses.
But what a throw by Pilar.
As the Twins play these teams, whether it's Detroit, Chicago, the ball hit back to Happ. You hope that the Twins players are watching and seeing how things are supposed to be done. Pilar with a textbook example of getting behind the throw.
Lead here at Target Field. What a great celebration. People from all over the country inside the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle. Someone's going to win 100 scratch-off tickets, and we're honoring the man right here below us. Phil is a World War II veteran. He is celebrating his 90th birthday. Look at the family here. They've come from South Dakota, New York, parts unknown, all over the place. Texas. It's spectacular. Cameron, you're the spokesperson for this group. What a great honor here for Grandpa in front of us here, a World War II vet. They have all the family come in from all over the country and watch this baseball game. Pretty neat.
All Grandpa wanted to do was come to the Twins game with all of his kids and grandkids, so we're so happy that he could come with them.
Well, congratulations. You guys win 100 scratch-off tickets. Happy birthday to Phil. What a great honor. You're getting circled right now by Bert Blyleven, our Hall of Famer. Pretty neat, guys.
Happy birthday, young man. And thank you for your service.
2-1 to Russell Martin. Pat Dean giving up a double and a home run in the third inning. Faced just 3 men in the second, 3 men in the fourth, 4 men in the first. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. Talking about, I think it was an inning or so ago, one thing I find myself doing here more and more frequently before a game is after the gates open, walking around the concourse and seeing fans. And we all know the on-the-field product has been very, very disappointing for Twins fans this year. But I particularly enjoy watching the reaction of the young kids and the seniors who are here. Everybody knows this has been just an awful start to the season for the Twins, but still a lot of people enjoy coming to the ballpark.
I'll tell you what, no better place to Grandpa to bring his family and friends, celebrating birthdays, father, sons, mother, sons, daughters.
Down and in a ball to Kevin Pilar. Hit a fly ball to center his first time up. Popped up. Pat Dean again missing the barrel of the bat. Now coming in from left field, it is Grossman calling off Santana and making the catch, 2 away. The Budweiser Roof Deck is the ultimate Minnesota Twins outdoor experience. The roof deck is available for your group of 250 guests on both Independence and Labor Day weekend. Your clients and staff will love the sweeping views, amenities, large fire, everything you need for mixing game time with social time. Go to twinsbaseball.com/groups. Learn more about how your group can experience the Budweiser Roof Deck. Strike one. So far, and you made the comment, I think, in the pregame show comparing Pat Dean to Tommy Malone, who's pitching for the Twins AAA affiliate in Rochester. Fouled back. And I think, to be fair, Dean throws a little bit harder than Tommy Malone. But the same keys are in play. They have to be able to locate to be able to get outs.
Yeah, I mean, he does work both sides of the plate. And again, a lot of minor league experience. 140 minor league starts. Now he's getting his first major league start. Scouting report on Dean. The changeup is the best pitch, not an overpowering fastball. Suzuki sitting away, and that two-seam fastball running away.
2-2.
Barney new to the Blue Jays over the last couple of years, coming over from the Dodgers. He won a Gold Glove for the Cubs back in 2012 when he was a second baseman for the Cubs. Tried that two-seamer again and missed again.
Full count. One walk issued by Dean. It came in the first inning to Encarnacion. And fouled to the screen. And another one fouled.
You know, you talked about Dean's minor league career too. I mean, in the Twins organization, he pitched at all 5 levels. You know, started in basically extended spring, went to A ball, high A, then double A, and then triple A for the last couple of years. And now pitching for the Twins.
Barney with a couple of long at bats against Dean. And a walk ending this one. In the third inning, it was a double. And you know that Dean didn't want to walk Barney because of who was in the on-deck circle.
Well, Jose Bautista again hurts the Minnesota Twins. A breaking ball looked like a cutter, just stayed up, didn't get in far enough because Bautista made it a 2-0 ball game with his 9th home run and his 13th here at Target Field against the Twins.
And now Dean misses down and away, ball 1. Mentioned it last night. Both Bautista and Encarnacion are free agents after the year, so there's a chance that they'll be signed by a National League team.
Yeah, the average low for Bautista, but he's driven in 33 runs.
Off the end of the bat,
Stay fair.
and a fair ball. And Bautista looking down the line. Home plate umpire Toby Basner was standing behind Bautista, and that will end the 5th inning. Bottom of the 5th coming up, still 2-0. Pepsi fans of the game, maybe even enjoying a Pepsi on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here at Target Field. Twins handing out wiffle balls and bats to the first 10,000 kids here today. Twins down by a couple of runs, and in the bottom of the fifth, it'll be Byung-Ho Park leading things off, taking ball one. Very tall pop-up near the Twins dugout. And Martin runs out of the way, and Smoke makes the catch near the on-deck circle. One down. In support of May is Mental Health Month, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and their commitment to improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. You can learn more about how to be stigma-free. Visit foxsportsupports.com. One down in the fifth. Here's Robbie Grossman. Hit a ground ball to third, his first time up. Strike one. And now towards short. Tulowitzki sidearms it on the run, on target, 2 down.
Boy, Happ getting some quick outs.
Darren Mastroianni will bat.
Came into the inning with only 41 pitches, 4 so far here. Getting 2 quick outs, only 45 overall.
Mastroianni like to get that first hit. Now 0 for 9. Getting hits wasn't a problem in spring training. He got 2 hits in every game he started in March, but a lot of people hit better in March than they did in April or May. Hence the poor 1-loss record. Down and in 2-0. As the Twins have searched for some kind of production. You think back to spring training when Carlos Quentin was in camp and the Twins wanted to start him in the minor leagues. He didn't want to go back there, so he retired. Ryan Sweeney, same situation. And almost certainly one or both of those players would have been called up by now. We talked last night about how Robbie Grossman, the example of how the Twins exhausted every opportunity within the organization just to get somebody to play up here in the outfield.
Yeah, Grossman opted out of his agreement with the Cleveland Indians. He was not called up by May 15th. He opted out, signed with the Twins, and 2 days later he's up here.
2-2 to Mastroianni.
And Mastroianni originally signed by the Toronto Blue Jays back in 2007. Came up with them in 2011, played 3 seasons for the Twins, went back to Toronto in 2014. And then last year, split time in the minor leagues between the Philly and the Nationals minor league organizations.
3-2.
Makes his home here now in the Twin Cities.
Mastroianni takes a walk, and that'll bring Suzuki to the plate. Second walk issued by Happ.
Happ with 2 strikeouts, 2 walks now. He's given up only 1 hit. That was a Nunez double that led off the 4th inning. So the speedy Mastroianni at first base. Happ, pretty good move to first base. He has 10 career pickoffs, 1 stolen base and 2 attempts off him this year.
And Mastroianni takes off, and Martin's throw not nearly in time or on target. Mastroianni on the team because of this, his ability to steal a base and run the bases. So his 2-out walk almost predicted a stolen base attempt.
You see Happ with that high leg kick. Martin really had no chance, even though the throw was high to second base. Goes has to go up and get it. Mastroianni was stolen base. Twins have now stolen 30 bases. They've been caught 8 times. Mastroianni picks up his first. So a good time for hit number 1,000 right here for Suzuki.
Inside, 2-0. Suzuki with 479 major league runs batted in. And strike 2 and 1.
Yeah, you know, you get a milestone hit, you might as well pick up a ribby while you're getting it. Happ going inside with a fastball. It's like a little cutter.
And a bouncer foul. 2 and 2. Twins got a leadoff double in the 4th. Their only hit against Happ. But then Nunez tried to advance to 3rd on Sano's medium deep fly ball in the next at bat. Two and 2. And that's into the seats down the left field side.
Quick trip to the mound by Russell Martin. Happ has 67 major league wins, 62 losses, an ERA at 4.10. This is his 180th major league start, his 205th game. Just over 1,000 innings pitched in his career, averaging about 7.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. 4 complete games, as you see, 3 shutouts.
Another 2-2 to Suzuki. And he flips it foul. Kurt, in his first 2 years with the Twins, hit .288 in 2014, went to the All-Star game, drove in 61 runs, drove in only 50 last year, and hit .240. Three and 2 with Santana on deck.
One thing he has been is very durable. 131 ball games caught in 2014 and 15.
I think it's fair to say that in his 2 full years with the Twins, in his first year, he hit better than the Twins had hoped, and last year he didn't hit as well as they had hoped he would. Full count and a chopper to 3rd. Barney fires across. Suzuki retired, and Mastroeni left at second base. It's still 2-0. Beautiful day here at Target Field, but the Blue Jays are leading 2-0. Our Soup.com trivia question. I really like your answer. It has to be Thome and Konerko, doesn't it?
Thome seemed like Konerko seemed like he owned the Twins, but Ken Griffey Jr.
Really?
Jay Buhner.
Wow. Kaline and Cash, not Horton, with 63. Griffey and Edgar Martinez, 57. Kaline on the list with Dick McAuliffe, who just passed away a week ago. Huh. Ryan Goins with a swing and a foul, 1 strike, leading off the 6th inning. Thome hit a lot of his home runs. I believe he's on top of the list as the #1 opponent to hit home runs against the Twins, but he hit a lot of those with the Cleveland Indians.
With the Indians, right. Well, Pat Dean's done a good job early. He's only given up 3 hits. Single in the 2nd inning, then that double home run combination in the 3rd inning.
One and 2 to Goins, then Encarnacion and Smoke. If you just joined us, there was some miscommunication, misdirected communication in the 1st inning. Josh Donaldson grounded out, didn't hustle out of the box, heard about it from the Twins dugout. He responded, and the home plate umpire Toby Basner thought he was addressing him, so he tossed him. That's why Goins is in the game. 1 away.
And Goins strikes out. Strikeout number 4 for Pat Dean.
MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. It includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, so visit MLB.TV for details. Strike 1 to Encarnacion.
80 pitches, 52 strikes. 65% of his pitches have been over the plate. A very good ball to strike ratio for Pat Dean.
One and 2. Wouldn't it be nice if Pat Dean did figure something out last year about how to get hitters out, professional hitters, and can extend the success he had last year to some success up here. 2 and 2.
You know, Irvin Santana pitched a great game here the other night and made really one mistake, and that was that pitch to Encarnacion. He hit the 2-run home run. And same said for Pat Dean so far here this afternoon. He's made one bad pitch. He kind of hung that breaking ball to Batista.
Fouled back. 2 and 2. Tyler Duffy was decent through 5 innings and then had all sorts of problems in the 6th last night.
The game's amazing because as a pitcher, you know, you can throw 100 pitches and it comes down to some one pitch, you know, that you wish you had back that could be the outcome between a win or a loss.
3 and 2.
The 26-year-old Pat Dean doing a good job here this afternoon, keeping his club in the game.
And
another strikeout.
2 down.
Back-to-back strikeouts. Strikeout number 5.
Second time that he struck out Encarnacion. That'll bring up Smoke.
Fastball away, a little up in the zone. Encarnacion holds on to his bat. Looks like it slipped again.
Dean with 2 outs here in the 6th. Now he'll face Smoke. Up and away, ball 1.
And Dean's minor league career, again covering 140 starts, 144 games. The excellent control, 1.7 walks per 9 innings in the minor leagues, and just over 5 strikeouts per 9 innings.
Two and 0. Tulowitzki on deck.
Changeup just missing low. A couple walks in a ball game for Dean.
Three and one. And a walk will put Smoke aboard. And bring up Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki with an infield hit leading off the second. And he hit the ball much harder his second time up. And a screaming line drive that Nunez picked off ankle high at his shortstop position. Ball one.
Yeah, good trip to the mound right here by Suzuki. Get him back on track after walking Smoke. Missed outside with a fastball. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, looking on. Talked about quality starts earlier. Jays have 29 of 44. They're tied with the Cubs and the Nationals as far as quality starts by the staff. Twins have only 15 of the 41 games they've played in. And only the Kansas City Royals have fewer at 14 quality starts.
And outside 2-0.
And a quality start is 6 innings where the starter goes at least 6 and gives up 3 earned runs or less. And the starters have struggled. They come in with only 5 wins, 19 losses for the Twins, an ERA at 5.09.
There's a strike, 2-1. That's very high.
Very high.
In April, particularly in early April, the starting pitching and the pitching in general, the least of the Twins' concerns, but it has really come to the surface here in May.
The starters in April, a 4.40 ERA. Here in the month of May, in the 11 games, they have an ERA at 6.17.
Thanks.
And the bullpen even higher in May. They're 0-6 combined with a 7.04.
Popped up to left field. Robbie Grossman is under it. Makes the catch. 6 good innings for Pat Dean. He's behind 2-0. See if the Twins lineup can give him some run support in the bottom of the 6th. Well, Pat Dean in his first major league start gave the Twins a chance to win. Just 2 runs allowed to this Toronto lineup, and he should feel very proud about how he fared here today.
Yeah, 6 innings, only 3 hits allowed. The home run by Batista, the only negative on as far as the line of Pat Dean. Great start 3 walks, 5 strikeouts through 95 pitches, 58 for strikes.
Justin Smoke doing deep knee bends. He thinks he's going to field a Santana bunt here. Ball 1. The bunt here, we've seen Santana get hits in all possible ways as a left-handed batter, dropping it in front of the third baseman, dragging it along the first baseline. The play here, one would think, would be a push bunt towards Smoke to pull him away from the bag with the left-hander on the mound. And a swing and a miss, a foul, 1-1. And again, Santana's doing what the Twins hope Byron Buxton will do. First in AAA, and that might, as much as anything else, lead to his recall up here.
Well, if you can show that you can lay down a bunt, you know, no matter when it is, it brings those infielders in and cuts down their range.
2-1.
You know, the second baseman, even Goins, has to come in a little bit. As Smoke is in about even with the bag, and now Barney moving back a little bit, but they'll move in once that pitch goes toward home plate.
Fouled back. Now you won't do it with 2 strikes.
Now they'll move back.
Right. But we've seen bunts for base hits.
That's a big part of Danny Santana's game. You know, his job to get on base and hopefully score. So any way he can via the bunt is just a bonus.
2-2 to the leadoff man here in the Twins' 6th. And Pope foul. You know, obviously a lot of concerns in the lineup, but Santana, since becoming the everyday center fielder when Buxton was sent down, has gotten on base a little more regularly. And 3-2 the count.
Well, he hasn't had that many at bats again as a right-handed hitter, but he is as a left-handed hitter, hitting .300. Just 1 hit in 16 at bats as a right-handed hitter, and they got 1 for 17.
Swinging strikeout for the first out of the 6th inning, and that'll bring up Dozier.
Happ picking up his first strikeout since the 2nd inning, his 3rd strikeout overall.
Dozier with a fly to left center field, and then he got a pitch to hit. He hasn't had many to pull and drive, but he got one in the 3rd inning and just missed it. Hit a big fly ball to left, tall one. Strike on the outside corner, and that's where teams have been going. At least right-handed pitchers have been going down and away to Bryant.
Yeah, until he starts hitting that ball the other way, the infield will play him the shade a little bit. Outfield.
Another fly ball left center field.
Really struggling at the plate, Brian Dozier.
2 down. Twins Flex Plan gives you the flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. You can choose in advance, even the day of the game. So don't plan. Flex Plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. 2 down, and now Eduardo Nunez. Twins have just 1 hit that came off the bat of Nunez. He doubled to the left field corner.
Yeah, Happ fell behind 2-0, came in with a fastball. Nunez hit it into that corner in left field.
Strike 1.
This time Happ gets ahead. Very good pitch count. This will be pitch number 70. Looking for the first out here in the 6th inning.
Popped up and out of play.
Another great crowd, over 29,000 last night.
A lot of them Blue Jay fans. People are going through customs to come down here to watch the national team of Canada. Of course, there is just one since the Expos moved to D.C. 2 strikes. Back to Happ. And another quick 1-2-3 inning for the Toronto left-hander. Jays up 2-0.
One mistake by Pat Dean, that 2-run home run he gave up to Bautista in the 3rd inning. That was it. Only 3 hits allowed in 6 innings. But his mound opponent has been a little bit better. J.A. Happ, or H.A. Happ.
And the Twins will go into the 7th inning and now turn the game over to the bullpen. Brandon Kintzler will pitch for the Twins in the 7th inning.
Yeah, both Dean and Kintzler came up at the same time when the Twins decided to let go of Casey Bean and also Tommy Malone. Kintzler making his 6th relief appearance. He worked here on Thursday night. He had 1 shutout inning, but overall over the last 10 ball games, look at the high earned run average. They've allowed 11 home runs out of that bullpen.
In 34 and a third innings. 34 and a third innings, that's a high total to begin with, but then when you're giving up all that carnage, yikes. Saunders, Martin, and Pollard hit for Toronto in the 7th. Saunders with a strikeout and a ground ball to 3rd. And Kintzler misses, ball 1.
Kintzler in his 1st season with the Twins signed a minor league contract over the winter. Last 6 seasons with the Milwaukee Brewers up and down.
A high fly to right. Mastroianni back at the wall. One away. A little bit of breeze blowing in through the plaza, and that may have kept that ball in the ballpark.
And Mastroianni doing a good job. He went back as far as he could against the wall, kept the eye on that ball, and you see the flag blowing a little bit, but I think he just got underneath that a little bit. Saunders hit a home run here in last night's ball game. Sole home run in the 7th.
Russell Martin, the batter, his average down to 172. And a strike. Backup catcher's Josh Tolley, but he typically only catches the knuckleballer R.A. Dickey, whom the Twins will not see in this series. Tap to the right side, and it goes through, a base hit. And Martin's aboard with a ground ball single.
Yeah, Martin will take all those he can get. Just having an off year offensively, a very solid catcher. 4-time All-Star with the Dodgers, Yankees, and Blue Jays. He made the All-Star team last year.
I'll be curious which of the American League catchers will go to the All-Star team and what their offensive numbers are. It has not been a strong period for American League catchers offensively ever since Joe Mauer moved out from behind the plate.
I think the favorite is probably Salvador Perez with the Royals.
Right. In terms of the fan voting, he'll get there, but what are his numbers? You know, the catching position, it's almost reverted back to what it used to be, where you hope to have a good defensive catcher, somebody who can call a good game, and if you get offense from a catcher, it's almost like a bonus these days.
Right. Well, Joe Mauer changed all that around for a while, you know, then Buster Posey, Wieters in Baltimore.
Mike Piazza was, you know, a great offensive catcher. And a strike. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2.
Kintzler with a good fastball, slider, changeup.
Fox Tracks presented by Carrier.
Well, had some good movement on it right there. 2-seam fastball. Good sink at the end. Well, maybe the slider. Oh, good fastball. Got him.
And Pilar squawks a little bit with Toby Basner, who's already shown to have a quick trigger.
Well, that looked like a pretty good pitch right there. After that sinker inside, he goes to more of the four-seamer down and away. Perfect pitch.
Just looking it up here so far, Salvador Perez is hitting .245 with 6 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Strike one. Barney with a double in front of Bautista's home run, and then he walked in the 5th.
Yeah, Barney had 2 long at-bats against Pat Dean. Helped get that pitch count up to 95 after 6 innings.
Well, as these games have gone between the Twins and the Toronto Blue Jays, I suggest to you Pat Dean did a better job than just about anybody else has since the Twins opened up Target Field in the games against the Blue Jays. Outside 1-1. And when's the last time a Twins starting pitcher against Toronto pitched 6 innings and gave up just 2 runs?
And only 1 home run.
Yeah, only 1 home run. 1-1 to Barney. Right back to Kinsler.
Good inning.
Flip to first. Kinsler has a good relief inning in the 7th. Miguel Sano will lead off the bottom of the 7th.
This young man just heating up.
Lays to center field, and the Twins walk off the Indians again. One of the Twins have starved their fans here at home. Not nearly enough wins. Maybe there'll be a late inning comeback and a dramatic win, maybe even a walk-off win. Twins fans have been very, very patient, very supportive. It's time for that patience and support to start to get rewarded. See what Sano can get done here. Twins down 2-0. He'll be followed by Plouffe and Park. Ball 1. Sano with a walk in the 1st inning, and he hit a tall fly ball in the 4th, fielded by Pilar. Then Pilar threw accurately to 3rd. Nunez tried to advance from 2nd to 3rd after the 1st out and was thrown out.
Yeah, A.J. Happ has been on fire, though, here so far. A couple walks, 3 strikeouts. He's given up only 1 hit in the first 6 innings. And the pitch count outstanding. And he gets ahead of Sano.
1-2. And foul back. One thing about Sano's at bats, he tends to regularly fall behind. See a lot more 1-2 counts than 2-1 counts. And he does strike out an awful lot. But there are pitches thrown to get him out. 5 or 6 pitches per at bat. And this time it was 4.
And
5, I guess.
Happ picks up his 4th strikeout.
1 down in the 7th. That'll bring up Plouffe.
Seemed like an off-speed pitch, but great location, a changeup.
Plouffe struck out in the 1st, hit a comebacker to the mound in the 4th. 61st strikeout for Miguel Sano. The American League leader, Justin Upton of the Tigers, who entered play today with 64. 1 strike to Plouffe. And now a ball. Two and 1. Happ has rebounded nicely after a disappointing start against the Rays, giving up 8 earned runs in 2 innings. A high fly to left, and Saunders comes in fighting the sun, and he makes the catch. 2 down.
This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins LLC. You can tell by the shadows, especially for Saunders, that shadow right behind him, so that sun is a bear. But he fought it and caught it.
Park takes ball 1. Just a footnote about the Tampa Bay Rays. Blue Jays with 54 home runs coming into the game, and the Rays have 60. Only the Orioles in the American League have more home runs than the Tampa Bay Rays. Who do you suppose is leading that team? I mean, largely an anonymous team. It's only going to miss 1 and 2.
All you think of is Longoria. In a young ball club put down in Tampa to try to stay in the race. 1 game over 500 at 20-19 coming into today's play. 4.5 games behind the Orioles. And Happ getting stronger.
Second time that he struck out Park. Another 1-2-3 inning in the 7th. Batista's home run. I like that. Hey, what, let's go back to the bat flip and then the brawl. And you played 22 years in the big leagues, and you played in a different era. all that said, what are your thoughts about everything that transpired between Bautista and the Rangers last year in the playoffs and then last weekend?
You know, Bautista's bat flip is such an emotional time with the crowd yelling. I don't have a problem with that. You know, but I do have a problem with Bautista trying to take out Odor after getting plunked by Matt Bush. You know, his intentions, I think, at first base, if I got a chance to break up a double play, I'm going to try to break that guy's legs. So I don't have a problem with Odor doing what he did. It just shows emotion. It's a game that sometimes emotions, sometimes they want. It seems like baseball wants you to cut down and be calm. I'm sorry, you're out there to beat the other team any way you can.
3-1 to Bautista. Well, Odor's going to be serving a suspension of some sort. He's appealing an 8-gamer, but he's turning it into a positive. In a couple of weeks, he's agreed to do an autograph show, and if you want him, Rougned Odor, to sign a picture of the punch, it'll cost you $99. You just want an autograph, it's I think $49. But if you want to sign him, to sign a picture of the punch, it's $99. And then imagine how much it would cost to get Bautista to sign.
That's what I was thinking right off the get-go. I mean, you get these two guys sit together and sign, you're talking big bucks.
3-2 to the leadoff man here in the 8th.
Might help pay for the dental work that Bautista might need.
Ball 4. He draws a walk.
Well, Kinsler in his second inning walks his first batter.
That'll bring up Goins.
Well, that's a big inning. You don't want the Blue Jays to score right here after the leadoff walk to Bautista. Get a ground ball. Watch, see if Goals might bunt. Swings away.
Just get the sense, at least I do, that if there are going to be more runs scored, it has to be the Twins doing the scoring, because this is already a 2-0 ball game.
Yeah, Goals bunted in last night's ball game.
And fouled back.
Goes in his 4th season with the Toronto Blue Jays.
One and 2. And a delayed called third strike. 1 away.
And a second strikeout for Kinsler. He got Pilar on a called third strike. Last inning. Good fastball, good location. That running fastball. A bit outside, but it's strike 3. You want to keep an eye on Bautista, because it's not like he'll steal a base, but he'll steal it if you don't pay attention to him. He'll take that walking lead and not stop.
Strike on the outside corner.
Good fastball at 92 miles an hour. Another good fastball, just missing.
Down and away, 2-1.
Kinsler, 31 years old. He was released by the Padres back in 2006. And said, hey, I still want to play baseball. He ended up playing independent baseball for 3 seasons. The Brewers saw him over here in St. Paul while he was with the Saints and signed him.
Base hit to left by Encarnacion. First and second now, one down in the eighth. Bring up Justin Smoke. Coming up Tuesday, it's the 12th annual Kids in the City, celebrating the Fox Sports North Boys and Girls Club All-Stars. The event starts with a pregame party at Fulton Brewery, followed by the Twins and Royals game at Target Field. We'll have some special guests here Tuesday night. Visit foxsportsnorth.com, click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar for details. Kinchler had a good seventh inning, but now a little trouble brewing in the eighth, and he'll come out with one away. One out, he'll check out. Fernando Abad will pitch to Justin Smoke.
Yeah, Fernando Abad came in here Thursday night in the 11th inning and faced Smoke. Smoke ended up getting a base hit and then a fly ball out. And then he gave up the RBI single to Tulowitzki that scored in the winning run. So Abad, a big opportunity here to kind of repay himself from having a bad outing here on Thursday night. 2/3 of an inning, gave up a couple hits, had a walk and a strikeout through 20 pitches, 13 for strikes. Twins lost that ball game 3-2.
Huge split righty lefty for Abad. Right-handers are hitting over 300 against him, and left-handers have yet to get a hit against him. Smoke and switch hitter, so guess which side he'll hit from.
Well, Smoke hitting .267 as a right-handed hitter and came into the game hitting .308 as a left-handed hitter.
Smoke, and then barring a double play, Tulowitzki. Swing and a foul. We're hoping, if not today, tomorrow, to get a look at switch pitcher Pat Venditti. He pitches both right-handed and left-handed. One strike to Justin Smoke.
Keep an eye on Batista. Yep.
Tapper towards short. Nunez flips. And nice job by Abad getting a inning-ending double play in the eighth.
He redeemed himself.
Twins are down 2-0 as they head to the bat in the bottom of the 8th. Stay with us directly after the game for Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. We'll take a look at Jose Bautista again, making Target Field his favorite place to stop by. Also, a great first major league start for Pat Dean. He was really good today. We'll take a look at that and have Jack Morris and Burt Blyleven chime in on his performance, and we'll hear from the manager, Paul Molitor. Guys, all we need now is a little rally.
And a little offense going here.
See if Robbie Grossman can get something started. He takes ball 1. 3 for 4 in the ball game last night. 2 ground balls to the left side so far today. Grossman, Mastroianni, and Suzuki. And this one under the glove of Tulowitzki. 4th hit for Robbie Grossman in just 7 at bats as a Twin. The leadoff man is on. Target Field suites are available here at the ballpark for single game rental for groups of 16 to 150 plus. You can enjoy a climate controlled experience and a fantastic view of a Twins game with food and beverage included. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 833-TWINS to schedule your suite at Target Field. Mastroianni drew a walk with 2 outs, stole second his last time up, squaring and taking low ball 1.
Yeah, this is not a sacrifice situation here. Twins are down by a couple runs. If he's going to bunt, he's got to bunt for a base hit.
And again, there's some bunting room between the mound and first base with Happ, a left-hander, naturally going to fall off towards third base. Now 2-0.
Well, pitch count still good for Happ at 88 pitches, 56 strikes. That hit by Grossman, only the 2nd hit off of Happ so far here this afternoon.
Fouled away, 2-1. Strike 2 and 2. We talk so much about the importance of pitching inside, and when you can go inside and get strikes, as we've seen Happ do regularly here today.
Again, hitting the glove, even though it, a little bit high. You saw Martin's glove. It hit right in the glove where he wanted it.
Foul back. And I've told the story before. When Chuck Knobloch was here, he said teams would pitch him inside, move him off the plate for pitches that weren't strikes. He said that was great. It increased the count. My odds were in my favor. But when you came inside for a strike, well, that's where it really started to work on a really good leadoff hitter. And now 3 and 2.
Now what you have is you have that hitter worrying more something about inside rather than now you got them thinking.
Right.
And when you get a hitter thinking, you got him.
Pretty much any baseball player, though, isn't it?
Oh, for sure, the pitchers.
And ball 4 to Mastroianni. Second walk that he's taken, and now first and second, nobody out here in the 8th.
And Pete Walker, the pitching coach, out to talk to his tall lefty. Bullpen phone being used by the manager, John Gibbons.
And Suzuki at the plate has hit a fly ball and a ground ball, 0 for 2. And you said it in the 5th inning, and I'll repeat it here in the 8th. This would be a great spot for his 1,000th career hit. And if it were a double, it would very likely tie the game. Squaring and bunting in the air, and Happ is retired.
Well, this is an area that the Twins have really faltered on this year. As runners in scoring position, all Suzuki's trying to do right here is lay down a bunt and advance the runners, but instead kind of jabbed at it, creating that little pop-up, and Happ catching it for the first out.
And now Danny Santana. Santana with a fly to center and a strikeout swinging. Down the right field line, down for a hit into the corner. Grossman will score. Mastroianni around third. He's coming in, and he will tie the game. Danny Santana with a double, and we're tied at 2.
On a pitch away, he just went with it down that right field line, and the speed of Mastroianni with, as you mentioned, a double might tie the game, and it did.
Santana's first swinging away hit as a right-handed batter, and it comes in a good spot.
See Mastroianni right there. G. Glenn with that arm going, keep going, and he ties the game at 2 apiece with a head first slide across the plate. So a big 2-run double for Santana, driving in his 8th and 9th runs of the year.
Grossman single starting the rally, and now we'll take a look at the Blue Jay bullpen in a tie game in the 8th. A big 2-run double, knocking Jay Happ out of the ball game.
Oh, quick the game can turn. Happ had the Twins under control, only allowed 1 hit coming into the 8th inning. And the base hit by Grossman, the walk to Mastroianni. That twice he walked Mastroianni. That's going to hurt him. Gavin Floyd coming in to try to get out of the inning, making his 16th relief appearance.
Remember him all those years a starter for the White Sox, and he has really pitched well in a different role for the Blue Jays. You look at the numbers, an ERA of 2.25 and just 12 hits allowed in the 20 innings.
He's gone through a lot in his career as far as that right elbow. He has had 3 different elbow surgeries. Last one coming March of last year.
And Dozier, the batter, 2 for 8 in his matchups against Floyd. A speedy runner at second, and the Twins have a chance to take a late inning lead here. Dozier's 0 for 3, 3 fly balls to left or left center. Santana to third, and the ball hit Dozier. Danny Santana taking off for third, and he's got to go back to second, with Dozier being brushed by the pitch.
Yeah, curveball stayed up, and Brian Dozier took it in the shoulder. But Danny Santana, because of Floyd's high leg kick, probably would have stolen third. And the breaking ball just clips the jersey of. You saw the jump that Santana had.
Nunez, a double in 3 trips with Sano on deck. Inside, ball 1. Dozier is looking as he's taking his lead at first base. He's looking at Santana almost as if to prepare himself in the event Santana takes off again. A double steal. And watch Dozier.
Wow.
He's hardly watching home plate at all.
But Floyd that time went to the slide step. He did not go to that high kick. See that?
Half swing. It'll be a strike.
Floyd's always had a good moving fastball, very good curveball. Mixing a slider like a cutter and a changeup.
One and one to Nunez, and now time called. Again, Dozier, we're getting a profile of his head from up here. He's not looking at the pitcher or the batter at all. He's locked in on the runner ahead of him. One and one to Nunez. And an inside move, but Santana was staying put.
And that's what you want to do as a pitcher. At least show that guy at second base you will do that. And if you utilize a slide step that he has showed the last couple pitches rather than the first high leg kick, tough to steal against.
A drive to left field. Nunez with a 3-run blast. A 5-run inning. And the Twins get a huge home run from Eduardo Nunez.
Boy, that's nice to see. That's what the Twins have needed for a long, long time. A good rally here late in the ball game. Nunez's 3rd home run of the year, and it was a big 3-run home run. And most of the 30,000 plus fans got up.
And the others ordered another Molson. Swing and a miss, 2 strikes to Sano. This 5-run inning, and we've seen so many crooked numbers going the other way, but this 5 spot here in the 8th started with Robbie Grossman's single. And Mastroianni drew his 2nd walk of the game against Happ. And Sano on 3 pitches is gone for out number 2.
Let's take another look at the pitch of the home run. It's a fastball that stayed a middle in, and Nunez opened up and he knew it. As soon as he hit it, he knew that baby was gone.
And now strike 1 to Trevor Plouffe.
And if I'm A.J. Happ, I'm going to look at 1 at-bat in that inning, and that's walking Mastroianni.
Yep. Guy doesn't have a hit yet on the season, 0 for 9, and he walked him twice.
Right.
2 strikes to Plouffe. Evan Jepson warming up now. He's in the bullpen with a chance perhaps to have a save opportunity, something the Twins haven't had much of. 1 and 2. You talked earlier in a different context about how this game can change. J. Happ sailing through 7 innings, allowing just 1 hit. 1. And instead he's got 3 earned runs on his ledger, and the Twins have 5 runs on the board. Blue fouling it back.
They gave up only 2 hits, but 3 runs because of the walk.
Down and away. 3-2. Floyd came into the game with just 5 earned runs allowed on the season, and he's been tagged for 2 of them here in the 8th.
His 3rd home run allowed in 20 2/3 innings.
Popped up right side. Retreating is Goins. And that ends it. Good inning for the Twins. They've given up some crooked numbers lately, but they got one of their own, a 5 spot in the 8th inning.
With this Mall of America studio update, the Twins and the Blue Jays will close out this 4-game series tomorrow. It's an early start. What better way to spend your Sunday morning than with Tom Hanneman and Jack Morris on Twins Live starting at 12:30. Twins and Jays will close out the 4-game series starting at 1 o'clock.
And the Twins suddenly dramatically turning this game around. 5 runs in the 8th, a 3-run home run by Eduardo Nunez, and now a save opportunity for Kevin Jepsen. Regarding tomorrow's game, Marcus Stroman going for the Toronto Blue Jays and Phil Hughes going for the Minnesota Twins. What's next brought to you by Century Link. Twins have not had a save in more than a month. Their last save came on April 16th against the Angels. Jepsen got it, and he'll try to pick up a save here this afternoon.
Yeah, back-to-back saves on the 15th and 16th of April against the Angels. And the first save opportunity in the month of May. The last save opportunity for the Twins came here against the Cleveland Indians back on April 26th. Jepsen ended up getting a blown save opportunity, but the Twins came back and won that ball game 6-5. It's a game that Sano ended up getting the game-winning hit.
1-1 now to Tulowitzki, then Saunders and Martin. And let's reflect for a moment on the big double play that Fernando Abad got to wrap up the top of the 8th inning, keeping it a 2-0 game. To Hopper, Nunez over to Park, 1 away.
Now Jepsen making his 18th relief appearance He worked here on Thursday night, a shutout inning, had a couple strikeouts, did give up a hit.
One down, and now Saunders 0 for 3. Blasted to right, straight as a string fastball, and it's hammered into the upper deck. And Saunders hits his second home run of the series. Got one last night. One thing we've noticed, Jepsen, who was so effective, needed those off-speed pitches because there's not much movement on his fastball.
No, I mean, he's a guy that just, he'll come right at you, but it's, if he's up in the zone, he's had a tough time keeping that ball down. You can see the location right there.
Center cut.
Yep. And Saunders didn't miss it.
And now Martin. Strike one. Jepsen giving up his 4th home run of the year in just 16 2/3 innings. There's a breaking ball.
And that's the pitch right there that has really been a problem for him this year. His inconsistency of that breaking ball and also keeping that fastball down. So you combine those two things. That's why Jepsen has that high ERA and not too many saves.
Popped up. Suzuki staring into the sun. 2 away. And that'll bring up Pilar. That was not an easy catch for Kurt Suzuki, because as you can see from the shadow, he was staring right up into the sun.
Well, thank goodness that ball was high enough. It allowed him to at least place himself away from the sun a little bit to keep his eye on it.
And now Pilar 0 for 3. 2 outfield flies and a strikeout. Twins have lost 8 straight at home. Their loyal fans have had so little to cheer about this year.
Twins are 6-12 here at Target Field.
One strike. And a breaking ball thrown for a strike.
2 straight breaking balls for Jepsen. The one that Pilar kind of half-heartedly swung at for strike 1. Then he took a breaking ball.
Bouncer to third. Easy play for Plouffe. And a nice win for the Twins. They break an 8-game home losing streak with a late inning come from behind win over Toronto.
Big home run by Eduardo Nunez in the bottom of the 8th. Helped